Hey, I can't hear you. Your thing is off. You gotta turn it off the audio on.
I am so sorry. I had it muted.
It's
I
all
didn't even have to
good.
unplug my mic. I was like, oh, she can't hear me. What up, Kyle? How you doing,
Hello.
brother? What's up, brother? Shout out Kyle Williams, man. Hey, send me some information about your birthday, man. Share the information about your birthday, man. Kyle Williams, man, one of the top comedy promoters in SoCal, is having a big birthday party. Share that information in the link for me, Kyle. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Excited about this men's wellness launch we about to do?
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I got my water. I should have put
Oh,
in
you
the
got your water, huh?
I
You
should
ready to
have put it
go?
in a mug so I could drink my tea too. I'm just kidding.
Hey, for those of you on TikTok, this young lady's name is Demisha Jordan Williams, and she
Yeah.
owns it too. Demisha Jordan Williams. She has a nonprofit organization. She has entrusted me to kind of spearhead the men's wellness branch of the organization. Today on Zoom, we will be going live from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's why I turned the TikTok on to kind of get y'all excited, get my juices flowing, and get ready because it's about to be a live show. She gonna lay it out. And again, I just want to tell y'all, I'm not telling you who to worship or how to worship. However, we are a Christian-based foundation, but we're welcome into humanity and to love. And when you are trying to keep families together, there is no boundary to that. There's no like, oh well, you black and you white, or you this and you that, or you believe in this and you believe in that. It's about the foundation of the family. So we want to keep everybody strong. And for the viewers out there, you do understand that. And the young lady hit me with an amazing agenda for today. Men need help too. And the stronger the men are, the stronger they are able to be for the women. I have a friend right now, y'all. I'm just rapping on my TikTok. I know we ain't doing nothing over here yet. But I got let me show y'all her. I know y'all all trying to be like, who is he talking to? Show y'all. See, that's there we go. Yeah, so they could see me. I could do it like this, huh?
I guess. I don't know. Can they see me?
Yeah, they could see you. Comment if y'all can see the music. You know what? It's going down. We got 2, 3 camera angles going over here. We finna. But yeah, I was just telling them that I'm really excited about this because I don't think people realize how the foundation of putting us all together, what we can really do,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, by
most
combining
definitely. Yep.
forces instead of trying to be against and at each other. And just to tell you, the basis of our organization is about women's postpartum. I watched your video on YouTube, by the way, today.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent, excellent. And what I loved about it, and what I love about what we're doing now is there needs to be more conversation about mental illness in the Black community without people feeling ashamed,
Mm-hmm.
without somebody calling you crazy. Oh, he's crazy. I
Nope.
think like the way they got rid of other words, I think the word crazy should be gotten rid of. You know what I'm saying? The same way it should be able to
Yep.
be said. That person
Yep.
has a mental issue or there's something going on with their mind. Let's make it softer and also this. Let's make it normalized because the thing is what even though mental illness is a illness, a lot of people have it. So there has to be some type of normality to it for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people to be dealing with it. So, and what we have to do for those of us that are sane is we have to figure out a way to be patient and understanding and give grace to
Mm-hmm.
those who are suffering from mental illness and postpartum. And here goes where the details of why I feel that things like this are necessary because the stronger men are, not just physically, but the stronger we are mentally, the stronger a man is to be able to cope with and understand, like, wait a minute. Because
Mhm.
I remember when I was with my ex and we was going through stuff, and I was like, man, our chemistry is just off, and I couldn't understand it. But
Yeah.
now looking back in retrospect, had we had forums such as this, where as a man, even I could be taught to give understanding to what she was
Mhm.
dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
yeah, I'm ready to cook today, mama. I'm
Well, we'll
ready to
give
cook.
people like a couple more minutes.
Oh, it's all oh okay. It's 4 o'clock already. Okay, I'm ready to
Yeah, we'll
cook.
give people at least like 2, 3 minutes.
Okay.
Give me
I'm
one
gonna pull up
second.
the
Oh,
agenda too
okay.
while we giving people the minutes. I want to welcome all y'all to this, man. We about to really have some fun today. About to really have some fun. Let me see something here. Okay. Go to my
Okay. Had to put the fan on me. It's hot.
fan hot, huh?
Oh, like the fan on? Shoot.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Whew. All right. And we're
Oh yeah,
recording,
and I want
so
to shout. And it's funny. Kyle Williams is on here too. For
okay.
those who've been rocking with me and saw my that amazing show I had at the Improv on my birthday, I have to give Kyle credit for assisting me to make that happen. He took me right to the booker. He was like, "Hey, this guy's funny," and got me that gig like it was nothing, man. Kyle, that really meant a lot to me, brother. That really meant a lot to me, bro. Bro, bro, I'm telling you, that meant a lot to me, man. I was able to perform at the hottest club in Los Angeles on my birthday. That meant a
Oh,
lot to
wow.
me. So I want to thank you for that, brother.
That's awesome.
Mhm. Okay, I'm going to the agenda so I can pull the agenda up and have it on the side. There's the agenda. See, I'm
Mhm.
a professional, y'all. I
Put
couldn't
your
let the
make sure you
people.
put your information in the chat too.
Sure,
You
sure.
know, all
I'll
your
put,
information. And
I'll
we'll
put it.
start like 1 minute and then I'll
Okay,
start it
cool.
off. And it's recorded, so I'm gonna
Right.
upload on YouTube anyway.
Got it. Got it. 1 minute.
Alrighty.
Squeeze this over here. Yeah. Trying to get you to do that.
And we'll make sure that everybody else, mute themselves.
Okay.
Look at my lovely mother.
Hey, Miss Donna.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm fantastic today, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome.
She
Louis Love
Ah,
in the house.
that's
said
right.
Louis Love.
I
Louis
know.
Love. Ah,
She didn't change her name.
hey.
I'm a
Guess what?
change.
Mama could do that.
That's right. Thank you.
Mama could
Hey
do that if she
now.
want to.
Oh, Lord
Hey
Jesus.
Jordan.
Hey.
Mama can do that if she want to.
I'll get it right later. All right.
Okay, Jordan, I have the agenda sitting right here.
Okay.
And
Cool.
at your leisure, I am ready to go whenever you are.
All righty. All righty. Well, we're gonna start right now. So hey,
Okay.
if they in, they in. If they out, they out. I'm just
That's
kidding.
right. Miss Arlene, how you doing?
And talk to debate this to get a change.
Hello.
Hey, I see Miss Arlene done popped in here.
Hey.
Oh,
We can
hey.
see you. We can see you. Hi. Hello.
Hi, Demisha. I'm looking
Hello.
my wonderful best. I forgot.
It's all good. It's all good.
You winning.
All right. Well, we gonna start. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Hello. Everybody can mute yourself for a second.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am Demisha Jordan Williams. I am the founder of FreeMe Incorporated nonprofit, where we provide group support, awareness, and resources for women and their families that are dealing with postpartum depression. We're just trying to raise awareness about postpartum and let people know that it is a serious thing, and we all need to pay attention to it. We all need to listen out for it, watch out for it, with our family members, our loved ones, and all that good stuff. And so tonight, this is our first launch of Free Me Incorporate nonprofit men's wellness branch. And so our men's community outreach coordinator, which is Louis TreLuv Smith the third. He is a father. He is a U.S. Army vet. He is a actor. He is a comedian. He is a stroke survivor. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself in just a moment. And so, yeah, we're just going to start off with a little prayer real quick. Dear Lord, we come to you right now, asking you that you would calm all of our nerves, that you will allow us to speak, that you will speak through us, that you will allow someone to receive something out of this Zoom meeting event. Help that we can bless somebody, help that we can help somebody, and allow us to just keep doing your word, or doing your thing for you, Lord. We praise you. We give you all the honor and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All
Amen.
right, I had to calm my nerves, y'all.
Ain't nothing to be nervous about. And you'll notice dealing with me. See, it ain't gonna be no nerves. We gonna handle this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'm
Got
gonna give you
this.
guys a little brief introduction. So we started this new program. I wanted to make sure that men and fathers get the support that they need. So I started this nonprofit to help women and mothers to get support and, be uplifted and encouraged. But then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. Men, they need some support and some encouragement too. And so that's why we both created this men's wellness branch, so that he, Lewis, will be able to, reach out to the men, because there's so much that, as a woman, as a mom, that we can do for the men. So we want, the men to step up. We want the men to speak out and let us know how they feel. How do you feel after having, your first child? Or how do you feel that your wife or your baby mama going through something, And so that's why we created this space and this branch, so that we can now not only help the mothers and the women, but also help the men and the fathers, which include grandparents and, stuff like that too, and uncles and cousins and so on and so forth. So, all right. So give me one moment. As I mentioned in previous community workshops and conferences, as women, we have support. We can always kind of, find support out there and encouragement, but it's really hard I believe that it's really bit difficult for men to really find that support and get that real respect and love and support that they also need. And so that's why we created this. So let's see. So I'll explain some more stuff later on. So I'm gonna let Lewis really introduce himself and tell you guys all about him and what he has going on and who he is and why he is on this Zoom and why he is now a part of the FreeMe Incorporated nonprofit. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm over here doing some ski wee. What the sororities be doing? Ooh wee. I don't know, y'all.
Ooh wee. And he is a comedian, y'all. So
yeah, don't
watch out for them jokes now.
They might catch that. They might catch
Yes,
that.
listen out for them jokes.
That's right. So before I get started, like I said, we are a Christian-based organization. So a person who looks at things in the beginning. There's a verse that I learned years ago, and I use it in situations like this. So I'm going to start with this verse before I get into my verbiage or introduction or anything about myself. So let me use these words from God first, from the Bible. The first 3 verses. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Now we can go. So we got some light. I had to open us up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit about myself. I am Lewis TreLuv Smith. The TreLuv is my stage name for my stand-up comedy. Lewis Smith is who I am. My mama gave me that name, so that's who I am. As she was saying a bit about me, I'm a father. I'm an actor, a comedian. I'm college educated. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I suffered a stroke back in 2014 during my first open heart surgery. I had my second open heart surgery November 20th of 2023. I sit here before you now with a mechanical valve, taking blood thinners every day. But I get up every day and I thank God for every moment that I exist, because I could easily be laid in my grave. I thank the Lord for the fact that I'm able to not just be alive, but to have a healthy and strong life, to be able to be a father to my kids. So with everything I've been through, with all the blessings that have been bestowed on me, I feel that I would be less than God's child if I were to not share my triumphs with others, to basically collapse timelines. There's a young man out there right now who got served papers and has to go to court and has no idea what to do, and he could lose custody of his kids. There's a veteran out there right now that has no idea that all he has to do is go to the VA, and he can find housing, he can get health care, he can get the things he needs, he can get tapped into resources. There are men out there that go through things, and most of the time, men, we suffer in silence. There's a book that Michael Basin wrote called Men Cry in the Dark. And some of you may have read it, some of you may have not, but do yourself a favor and go take a look and look up that book, Men Cry in the Dark, because it really tells the stories that are untold, you know, especially in our communities. You know, the black man is not really, you know, he's really at the bottom of the totem pole. You know, a lot of people don't want to realize it or accept it, but it's the truth. You know, women have been given certain passes, even black women, and it puts them in positions of power in business, which I applaud, and I take nothing from it. However, here's my thing. Imagine what we could do as kings and queens. You know, imagine what we could do together. Here's a point I want to make that, you know, I wrote in my journal because, you know, again, being a man of God, being a man that studies life, studies humanity, I journal. And I wrote in my journal, it's something that people don't pay attention to. You notice when they talk about the first woman ever to be discovered, her name was Lucy. They always talk about that DNA, that trait that we all as the human animal take back to Lucy. That's Mother Earth. Take nothing from that. Like I said, I employ that. However, if that's a black woman and she started the human race, then there had to be a black man. But they won't give that black man or acknowledge that. You see what I'm saying? So it's deeper than what people think. It's really deep, because realistically, if there was a black woman that is the mother of the earth, then there had to be a black man that was part of that. So again, with the way that the government and the system is trying to rewrite our histories, to take certain truths out of what has been taught to us, what we see, our generation, we know, but we don't control what goes on when we ship our kids off to that school where they're being trained and taught how to be a citizen. So they're not pushing the agenda of this happened to your forefathers, this happened to your people, this is why your people are so strong. They don't want you to see that. So this is why we are going to have platforms like this in order to reach back, because I'm gonna tell you something, you'd be surprised. I know you all see those videos on YouTube. You go down on Skid Row and you find just any random man, give him a bath, a shower, and a haircut, and you got a whole brand new person. So imagine imagine when we build up our community and we go out there with the FreeMe Inc. and we go out there and give out haircuts, and we're feeding people and we're turning people on to resources. You don't know whose life we could turn around, and that one person out there that society has thrown away, we can embrace that person, and that person could end up being somewhat of a savior to us and our communities. Donna's saying something. Let Miss Donna. You got to unmute yourself, Miss Donna.
You gotta unmute yourself.
I just said, hey, hello, everyone. I just said, absolutely. That is a ministry, and it's basically just raising up fallen humanity. And that is part of life, because when the land is sick, we ask God to heal the land, and he asks us, I'm using you as the vehicle, as the people, and we have to do our part and our share. And first of all, you have to pray before you go anywhere. We must pray. So we're led to go in the dark valleys of the shadow of death. and fear no evil, that we are covered by the blood of Jesus first and foremost. But yes, there's a lot of work to be done in the highways and byways. And he said, compel men and women to come, back, is to be restored. And I just wanted to share that. So we're on the same page, brother. Bless you. And thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Well, yes, I agree.
I had to unmute myself because I was over here. Thank you, Miss Donna. Thank you. Let me tell you something, Miss Donna. I saw you over there when I was talking. I saw you. I said, yeah, my sister. I said, my sister got me over there, Jordan. I said, unmute her mic. I saw she was ready to get in, and I want to thank you for that, Miss Donna. And I just want to say this too. Let me just say a few things, right? When I came in with you all, was it last month? When was the last meeting, Demisha? When was
I think it was last week. I feel like it was last week.
It was recent. It was recent.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna tell you something about that amazing young lady that you have as a daughter. Her spirit. I told her. I say you are a light. This young lady shines. She's a light. And we talked, and she told me some things, and I started writing some things, and I started seeing where this where I wanted to be part of the community and give my parts to help. With her telling me she was born on Father's Day, that kind of tripped me out a little bit, because I was born the 7th month, the 7th day of the 75th year. So I follow signs. Understand me. I'm the lucky 7. My dad said, he said the day you was born, he said I hit the jackpot, 777, and I'm the 3rd, so that's 37. So again, I pay attention to certain things, and knowing what I've gone through as a father, and for her to tell me she was born on Father's Day. And what I really appreciate more than anything about the conversation with Demisha, and looking forward to building and growing with everything we're doing here, she said that she wants to make sure her daughter sees a good co-parenting relationship. I'm going to tell you from the bottom of my heart. See, I almost got a little emotional when I said that because of how important that is. And see, the thing is, yes, it's important for us because there's going to be a lot of less stress on us, but what it does for the child is what's most important. How it's going to affect the future. I'm tired of them trying to put our kids on pills. I'm tired of them trying to say our kids are ADHD and trying to label our children. And as soon as our children, when their children do it, it's considered, oh, he or she is lively. But when our children do it, or want to jump out and run. I did a play with my daughter yesterday. My daughter had a play and I volunteered. And them babies was just running, but that's what they're supposed to do. We're at 5 and 7 and 10, your body, you're just full of energy. That's what they're supposed to do. However, the system will have you thinking that your child is overly anxious or overly this or overly that. And that's why we need to have forums, again, such as these, in order to discuss these issues, to protect our children. That's our job, y'all. It's not just my job. It's your job, your job, your job. And again, here's the thing. It goes back to what this particular branch of the organization is about. The little boys, them little black boys that need mentorship, that need somebody looking out for them. Before you go labeling that black boy, why don't you let other black men come in out of the community before you go label him? Why don't you let us sit down and talk with the parents and the mother and the child and evaluate him before we allow you to label that child because you're an expert? You see where I'm coming from? So, that's it for a minute. I can go all day. I just wanted to get you all give you all a gist of really what I'm about and where I'm coming from. And if you have any questions at any time or any suggestions, comments, or complaints, please don't hesitate to chime in and respond because I'm here to engage with you today.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
And I do have some more things to discuss and in detail. Let's talk about our veterans. We're going to talk about the veterans, and we're going to also talk about victims of stroke. We're going to talk about fathers that are fighting for custody. So I want to hear from anybody that's on here that knows of anyone in these situations, so please share your experiences, because I do have a lot of experience with the court systems and I can help. I know how to go to court for free and get everything done I need to get done. My baby mama can't take it. because I know how to be my own lawyer. Every black man, and it took me a while to get there. You see where I'm coming from? But with the things I've learned, I want to share, because nobody's telling a black man, hey, look, this is what you need to do. This is who you need to go talk to. You need to make these phone calls. You need to send these emails. I'm gonna tell you something I was blessed with, and I just thought about it, and I wrote it down the other day. I said, two things that make me powerful. Two things I have. I'm educated and I'm capable. Educated and capable. With those two assets right there, there's nowhere in the world and nothing I cannot do. Educated and capable. And that's what I want our people to be, is educated and capable.
Nope, I agree. I agree. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Like you said, you could chime in at any time and take yourself off mute.
I can talk for as long as I need to, because I do have a lot of things to say. I have a lot to share.
You can go ahead and share with us.
Here we go.
Go ahead. This is your time.
It is. Okay.
This is your moment.
That being said, let me share something with you all. Okay. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about heart disease for a minute. Let's talk about heart disease. I am a 50-year-old man. I just want to show y'all this scar. I have two scars, if you can see, one here and one that starts there. I've had 2 open heart surgeries. Now, let me discuss getting to having the first surgery. You grow up, my mother, I give my mother credit for being a stomp down mama. My mama took me to the doctor. I got all my shots. I even had records of it. I had all my shots, all my checkups. Here's what's crazy. Not only did I had no idea that there was a heart issue growing up, I played sports. I did everything, education, and educated and capable. That's right. That's right. Educated and capable. That's powerful. Educated and capable. That's what we need to push into each other. Educated and capable. So I'm growing up, living life, not having any inclination about anything to do with any type of illness. I was a bull growing up. I wasn't allergic to anything. You know, some kids, oh, I'm allergic to this, or they can't be here too long or that too long. I was a bull. I was in the streets. I mean, I'm talking about I played with snakes. I was a bull growing up. You know, I was in the streets, football, doing everything a normal young man would do. Okay, let's fast forward. At 17 years old, I went to the military. I was 17 years old when I left my mama's house. She cussed my daddy out, cried, but I had to get her signature in order to go to the military because I was still a minor. But my father convinced her to sign those papers. And at 17 years old, ladies and gentlemen, I went to the military. And I'm going to tell you something. It is the best decision that I have ever made in my life, was going to serve in the military. And it's funny because, you know, I tell my sisters, you know, that, you know, and women are very attached to their sons. There's no doubt about that. That is a natural truth. My mother and I were very close. But I try to tell young ladies that I meet, when your son even your daughter is finishing high school and they don't really have, because it's not about being smart, because even though I went straight to the military, I still have a college degree. I have a college education. It's just when I got out of high school, I was ready to go. You understand me? I was ready to be grown. I was ready to be a man. I was like, look, I got to get on out of here. So I packed up, went to the military at 17. Best decision I ever made in my life, because see, the seeds were being planted for today back then. Ask me how much open heart surgery costs. Ask me how much it cost me, because I'm a disabled veteran and I got it done through the VA. Zero. So if your son or daughter is 17, 18, don't really have the scholarship, or don't really have the funds or finance, or don't really, after high school, 17, 18 years old, don't have the mindset to just go sit in college for another 4 years, let them go to the military. Let them go to the military. It's instant career advancement. Because when you go in, you're going to go through what's called basic training. That's basic combat training. That's 8 weeks. It ain't no fun. I'm not finna sit here and tell you that. That 8 weeks, that son or daughter gonna remember that 8 weeks for, and that's the Army. The Marines is 90 days. It's 3 months with them. It's 12 weeks of basic training with them. Welcome, Violet. Welcome in. It's 3 months of training with them. But with the Army, is you get 8 weeks of basic training. You get 8 weeks of AIT. That's called your advanced individual training. Now, when I went in, my military classification was 75 Bravo, which is personnel administration specialist. So that put me in a place called the battalion. So I was able to work around the lieutenant colonels and the majors all day because I was basically, it boiled down, think about it, personnel administration specialist. Even though I went to the Army, I was a glorified secretary. That's right. You know, so again, it proved, see, that's my point. Just because your child goes into the military, don't get this stigma that they're going to just be blowing up bombs and shooting and doing all that stuff all day. They're going to learn again, basic combat training. They're going to learn how to defend themselves. They're going to learn how to fire a weapon. They're going to learn how to throw a grenade, shoot the rocket launchers. They're going to learn all that stuff. But I'm here to tell you that stuff is fun. It's a lot. Jordan is fun. If you ever get the opportunity to shoot a rocket launcher and you don't have fun, call and tell me. I'm gonna be like, something wrong with you. If you ever get the opportunity to shoot a M60 machine gun legally, I'm telling you, it's fun. It is straight up fun. And again, I'm sure it's more fun for men than it would be for women. I can understand that. Oh, okay. Oh man, my live went off. I'm sure it's more fun for men than it is for women, but I'm here to tell you straight up, it is a lot of fun to get out there and it's a lot of fun to get out there and just do some things, you know, do different things. But with that being said, when I say heart disease, okay, here it is. I went through basic, I went through AIT, and then I ended up stationed at my duty station. I went to Fort Stewart, Georgia. I went to Korea, got out the military, came home, took care of my mom. I'll get into that story later. My mother ended up passing away of cancer, but I ended up taking care of her, you know, prior to her leaving this earth. And again, through all this, through them 20s, through my 30s, had no idea I had heart disease. No idea. No idea. The military would not have let me in the military had they known I had heart disease. You understand what I'm saying? So here it is. Let's fast forward. I'm with my ex, and again, we're new in our relationship, and I do because I did a comedy show that night, and I won the show, and I was excited. So, see, God works in mysterious ways, because there are things I don't do now that I did do then, which is I want to say a little excessive drinking. Yes, I'm a man enough to say that, because these are things that we have to talk about. These are things that are real. These are things we have to be transparent about. I don't drink nowhere near that way. I barely have a glass of wine here and there now, but there was a time when I drank in excess. Admittedly, I drank in excess. I wouldn't ever give myself a label as an alcoholic, but there were times that I did get on that sauce and hey, have a good time and take it to another level. So this particular night I did, after winning a comedy show, and I ended up passing out. And so when I passed out, I came to. Huh? Hey, Marco. So I ended up passing out. So when I passed out, I got scared. So I went to the hospital, and they checked everything. They checked all my faculties, and come to find out, I didn't have a heart attack. I was scared because when I passed out and came to them, like, whoa, what is this? I fainted. But that's when they discovered that I was born with what was called a bicuspid aortic valve. I was born with it. And I was sitting there like, what's that? So they were saying, well, eventually you're going to have heart surgery. Could you imagine sitting in the hospital, never knowing or having any inclination that you had anything wrong with you? Before this, I didn't take medicine. When I say I was a bull, I'm not joking around with you. I'm going to tell you two people that suffer from this same heart disease that I have. You all remember Jack Tripper, John Ritter from Three's Company. if you look up his story, he actually had the same heart issue that I had, and also Robin Williams. So two comedians had the same exact thing. It's called a bicuspid aortic valve. And so, like I said, I was just going through life, just having a good time, enjoying myself, just having peace and fun, and wasn't thinking 2-3 times in no way, shape. Look, I was still fighting. You know what I mean? I mean, this back, you know, again, young, I'm a black man. There are things that I've done, you know, that I'm not proud of, but I was living a way different life. So to be told that, okay, your blood pressure is not too high, but you do have a dissection, we notice, in your heart. So I'm just like, wow. And so fast forward, I would get my heart checked every 6 months. Because once I knew it, because they told me, they said, it's not a matter of if, it's when, but you're going to need heart surgery. So this was when I was about 35. And so I was just kind of like, I'm going to need heart surgery one day. So what I started doing was getting real healthy. I started eating right. And see, this is where, this is getting good. This is where we are going to do drives. We're going to do fundraisers. We're going to do more seminars like this, because men need to really understand health is wealth. You have to keep yourself in shape. This is something I learned, and I've told 2 people that have ended up having to have heart surgery. I gave them one of the secrets to my success, and they both called and thanked me. I want to tell this to everybody listening right now. If you know anyone who is having a heart issue, tell them to start an exercise regimen, a light one. That's the thing. This ain't TV. This ain't no take this Ozempic drug or do this or go to the gym and bench 300 pounds. This is not that. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. This is not that. This is doing body weight, doing natural push-ups. Do 10 push-ups. You need to do about 30 to 40 push-ups every day. And that's in sets of 10. I ain't saying, see, again, when I say exercise every day, I never tell anybody to hurt themselves, but moving that body, walking 30 minutes, I don't care how fast or slow you go. If you can get out there and walk 30 minutes every day and keep your body moving for 30 solid minutes, you're doing good. Let's make sure we're walking every day. Let's make sure we're drinking enough water. Let's build our bodies up to be strong, because again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When is something gonna go wrong? See, for people such as myself that are monitoring their health, it's 15 to 20 minutes. That's right. It's not a matter of if, it's when. If somebody such as myself that goes to the doctor every 6 months, every year to get their checkup, you're gonna go 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. You're gonna be like, boom, I'm good. Doctor gonna be like, hey, you gaining a little weight. Okay, I'm drop some weight. I'm getting ready. So I'm gonna go back to the hospital and be doing good. So you get your checkups, and then not when I say when, it could be 80, but it could be 60, it could be 70, it could be 54, it could be 57, it could be 58, it could be any time. But that one checkup, when the doctor called you back, like what happened with that second surgery. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about that day too. When that doctor called back and said, hey, when you go get your checkup that morning, boom, and you chilling, and that doctor called and say, hey, and you go, what's up? This is a good segue into the how I ended up having the second surgery. This is a really good segue into that. So let's go back, and then we're gonna go forward. I had the first surgery. The surgery did not go well at all. I ended up in a coma for 4 days. I suffered a stroke. So when I woke up from the surgery, the doctor began to touch my hand, and he asked me, he said, can you feel that? If you can feel it, blink, because I was hooked up to so much stuff until I couldn't talk, but I could blink and communicate. He rubbed my hand and he said, can you feel that? I said, yes, sir. Well, I blinked. He said, blink once. If you can't, blink twice. So I blinked to let him know I could feel it. He rubbed the left side of my foot. He said, can you feel that? Blink once. I blinked that second time. And then he said, that's good because you suffered a stroke. So imagine sitting there hooked up to all this stuff and all these IVs and stuff. And here's the thing. Don't forget, I just came out of a 4-day coma. 4 days. From July 7th to July 11th, those 4 days of my life, I guess I was up there talking to God and trying to figure some things out before he sent me back to get on my mission, So when I got back up and they told me that, I had to whoa. So here it is. Now, not only did I get a heart valve replacement, now I have to live for the rest of my life with symptoms of a stroke. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people walking around here that have suffered strokes that you look at every day and you don't even know. And I'm one of them. You look at this person every day, and you wouldn't look at that person and be able to see them walking down the street or see them in the grocery store and know their story. That's why you have to have compassion with people. You don't know what anyone has been through, you know? So here it is. Okay, boom, that happened. Let's fast forward. That was in 2014. Let's fast forward to 2023. That's exactly about 9 years. And it's funny too, because they told me when I got the flesh valve that it was going to last about 10 years. That's what they said. They said this valve gonna last about 10 years. But this is where they fooled me. They say, you know, when it's time to get it open again, we're gonna be able to go through your groin instead of having to go through your chest. I was like, okay, cool. So this is what I'm thinking, 10 years. Okay. Again, I'm a person who believes in, I love lifting weights. It's something about exercising that it makes me psychologically feel young. And that's good for you. That's good for anybody. I'm telling you, for those who not doing it, get your, if we got to start a little walking group, if y'all want to do that, I'm down with it. We can get on Zoom and go out and walk every day and just motivate each other. You know, hey, did you get your walk in? Did you get your walk in? You know what I'm saying? These are the types of things. Again, we're a nonprofit organization, so it's about community. So in every way that we can, we got to help each other, you know, to not only get, but to stay healthy. So what I started doing, again, it's part of my lifestyle, getting up, going on walks, riding a bike, lifting weights. Like I say, I'm feeling young. So this particular day, I hadn't gone and got my heart checked in. Like, it was a while, like maybe I want to say about a year since I had a checkup. So I went in for my heart checkup, and quite honestly, I had been feeling a little winded. I wasn't feeling like my normal self, but I really wasn't paying no attention because, again, I'm a bull in my head. I'm taking my medication every day. I'm doing what the doctors tell me to do. I'm eating oatmeal like it's like I'm a puppy. You understand me? Right now, I can show you cream of wheat and oatmeal. That is my religion. Okay, I live right next to cream of wheat on the corner of oatmeal. That's my religion. Don't get me wrong. When the weekends come, I'm gonna have. As a matter of fact, I had some grits this morning, and you know, some sausage and eggs too. But my day-to-day regimen, my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I start my day coffee, oatmeal. I just believe in that is God's food for me. So long story short, that particular morning, this is in 2023, I got up like any other day. Boom, did what I was doing. I knew I had my doctor's appointment. That's when they went in and they put the stuff on me, and they put the monitors, and they check, you know, the details of my heart, and then they hit me back later with the results, which are usually, hey, Mr. Smith, just a call to tell you the valve looks good. Woo. I was getting that so much, and my blood pressure was doing so good, I got a little cocky. I did. I got a little cocky. I was like, I'm good. So I went to the doctor that day. Again, I had been feeling a little winded. But I just was like, it's whatever. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to live forever. So I went to the doctor. They did the thing, hooked it up. And as soon as I left the hospital, I'll never forget what I did. It was a November. So it's almost been 2 years. So I left the hospital. I went to Jack in the Box, and again, called myself eating right. I got a Jack Wrap. A grilled Jack Wrap. I never get the fried one. I got me a grilled Jack Wrap and a pop, a soda. And I called myself, I said, and you know what I did? I said, I'm not even going to eat first. Before I eat, I'm going to stop at the gym and I'm going to get a workout. So I had my lunch already. Boom. I got to the gym, did a workout, and I was like, I'm going to go home, have my lunch. And I will never forget, a Laker game was coming on that night. So I had set my lunch up. I'm ready. Got TV on, watch the Laker game. My phone rung. That doctor was like, how you doing, Mr. Smith? I was like, I was good. He was like, well, I'm glad to hear that, but I got some news. You need to get to the hospital. And I had company coming in town too. And I was like, wait a minute, I got family coming in town. He was like, good, they need to come to the hospital too. I'm like, huh? He said, yes, I've already called the emergency room. They are waiting on you. You need to get to the hospital right now. Again, like I said, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. So I collected myself. He told me, bring stuff, get your toothbrush. So I was worried. I was like, whoa. So I got my toothbrush, toothpaste, you know, packed up some fresh, you know, again, packed up my personal stuff, underwear and socks and all the things that I knew I would need to, you know, for a few days. Cause he told me, yeah, you're going to be here for a while. So I'm thinking that, again, maybe they got to go through my groin, you know, to something happen. Well, when I got there, they explained to me that it was more severe than what I thought that valve that they had put in was basically it was rotten. They say when they listened to it, that valve was literally. I never forget. The doctor told me, he say, if I wouldn't have caught that within a month, I could have expired. He say, so it's just funny how God worked for me to be able to catch that in the length of time I caught it, and they replaced it, and now I have a mechanical valve in my chest, but I feel good. I eat right, I exercise, take my medication, and I don't stop. I don't stop. I just keep going because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And I missed the Laker game. You know what's funny? That's the one thing is so funny about that situation. That's the one thing I kept thinking about the whole time. Like, I was trying to watch it in the hospital. Like, y'all ain't got no TV. I can't. I just think LeBron. I'm a Laker fan, baby. So yeah, I missed the Laker game. But what was meant was not the Laker game. What was meant for me to be able to sit here today before you and continue to share my story. So I'm gonna take about a 5-minute break, and y'all, we're gonna come back.
Amen. Wow. Well, let me see if I got a joke or two to tell. I'm gonna let you tell all the jokes because you're the comedian. So let's see. Well, thank you guys for coming in. We make sure you wait to the end. We'll get out some little giveaways and stuff. So, man, his story, boy, oh boy. Some of the stuff I do know because we had our meetings and our talks before our meeting here today. But some stuff I'm hearing now, I'm like, whoa, God is definitely good. So yes, make sure you guys are getting your walks in. Make sure you're getting the vegetables and the fruit and all that good stuff in. I remember I've been on medical leave for a minute due to me having low iron. And so my doctor also did the same thing to me. Called me and said, "Hey, you need to leave work and go to the doctor and get a blood transfusion." And the same way he was feeling, he's like, "Wait, what?" I had that same moment where I'm like, huh? Me? I've been ripping and running and working and take care of my daughter and driving here and driving there and going to Hollywood and working in, fashion shows. And, I was, like he said, I had moments where I was feeling not too good, but I just kept pushing. I just kept it pushing. I just kept going, and thank God for doctors, because sometimes we don't listen to doctors, but I think sometimes the Lord places it on their heart to let us know what's going on with us. And thank God my doctor called me in time to let me know what was going on. Thank God, his doctor called him, and just make sure we get into the doctor's appointments, make sure we drinking water, staying hydrated, make sure we're taking our vitamins, just make sure we're taking care of ourselves. We think like, hey, we so young and we can just do whatever, but no, I'm only 38 and I still got to take vitamins. So we all got to do it. So let me see if I have a joke here. If anybody want to chime in and say something, you're more than welcome to say something. What is the mission plan?
Just hey.
Hi, hello.
Yeah,
you can
hey,
chime
Miss
in.
Denisha.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Donna and Cheryl. It's good to see everybody. I said I'm going to support my girl. Everybody's grown up on me.
I appreciate you coming on in. Welcome. Well, thank you everybody for coming on in. We really appreciate it. We're trying to do these Zoom conferences at least, once a month. And Lewis, he's going to be taking over for the men branch. And so he's going to be doing it, once a month. So, it'll be twice a month when we do, these Zoom conferences and meetings and stuff. So no, I thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm trying to see if I got a joke here. I did one last time, so I don't want to do the same one. Let's see. Mr. Lewis, you got a joke for us? A really good dad joke or something.
I was gonna say I got jokes, but I gotta process a little bit because
Okay.
I keep it PG rated. So let me look through my joke Rolodex.
Okay, got you.
See about keeping it PG rated to where we can have a little fun and make y'all go,
Got
ooh.
it, got it.
This is what I don't want y'all doing. Watch this. Demisha, I don't want y'all going, mm-mm. I want y'all going, ooh, maybe, ooh, but not, I don't want y'all putting up your prayer hands and stuff.
Oh, Lord.
Lord, where did she get him?
Uh-oh.
So yeah, let me go through my Rolodex and see what I can pull out.
Got it. Well, let me see. I got one.
Okay,
hopefully everybody think it's funny. All right. What is a dentist's favorite hymn?
No.
Anybody?
You want us unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes, you can unmute yourself. What is the dentist's favorite hymn?
Dental floss.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Am I close? Dental floss.
Nah, you ain't even close. I was good.
Like, what am I saying? Never mind.
Let's see. Crown him with many crowns.
Okay.
I don't quite know that hymn in the Bible.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yes, you do. You sung that in
church. Oh, okay. Well,
yes,
maybe I did. I don't know. But crown him with many crowns.
Crown Arlene. Oh,
yes.
You're the lead singer. Crown him.
Crown him. Okay.
Oh, Lord of Lords.
I got it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And that and you sung.
Yeah.
Crown him.
Okay.
Did anybody catch that though? Because that was a good one.
Yeah.
Crown him with many. Okay.
Wow.
With many crowns. I got it.
All right, I got one for you now. I got one. Y'all ready?
Okay.
Awesome.
Do I need to put the finger up?
No. It's a good one. Like I said, I had to
step out of church. Step out of church.
I had to go through my Rolodex, but I got it.
Got it.
Okay. Y'all know the Italian people, like they run with the mob, right?
Uh-huh.
Right? No, for real, it ain't that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you who they really got a problem with. They really got a problem with Jehovah's Witnesses. Really got a problem with Jehovah's Witnesses. You know why?
Why?
Because don't nobody in the mob like witnesses.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Put my finger up. Step out of church right now. I'm scared.
I said that y'all with a cool one. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't even, man.
I saw that. I'm a witness. I saw that.
I can give you guys one I just got.
Come on with it,
all right. Come on
with it.
All right. What do you call friends that eat together?
Unity. Yeah, right.
Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
Ready?
Yep.
Taste buds.
That was cool. Oh,
I like that one.
Just gave it to me.
That's
Taste buds. Hey. Wow. Okay. That's
Louis,
a good one.
Louis, what you say we're gonna start having? What we talking about? We're gonna do some comedy.
You know what?
I'm
glad you brought that up. Now we're gonna transition into some what we're gonna be doing as far as having us some fun, y'all. As I told you, I gave you all my rundown. I'm not just an actor and a comedian, but I'm also a college educated teacher, a professional Toastmaster. I speak, all over the world basically. And Demisha and I will be doing a comedy class we're gonna section it off for elders. We're going to section it off for kids. So we're going to have a comedy class that, people are going to come out and explore a different part to themselves. Because see, here's the name of my course is called You Think You Funny. Because what I've learned is we're all funny. It's just you have to think about it. If you think you're funny, then you're funny. And see, here's the thing. When you have someone such as myself that can teach you, and I want to say this. I attended the American Comedy Institute in New York. So as a good student, I learned how to be a good teacher. I went to, God rest his soul, I don't know of you all who have heard of Mr. David Arnold, but he had a comedy course called The Art of Stand-Up. You know David Arnold? I took his course, The Art of Stand-Up. I took it twice because David was such an oh my God, God rest David. And go to Netflix and watch David's comedy special, man. Fat Ballerina, and it ain't for the weak, man. He has 2 specials on Netflix which are brilliant. I took his stand-up class, and I also have taken classes with Greg Dean. I said all that to say this. I'm not just a professional stand-up comedian that I tour and get paid to do stand-up. I'm also a teacher as well. So with the craft, I'm able to teach people how to do what's called the 3 basic steps of a joke, which is setup, premise, and punchline. And I'm able to teach that formula to people to where after you build with me and I show you how to build a 5-minute set, just like I learned in these other classes, from there you can take the template that you get from the class and then you have a career and you can do stand-up for the rest of your life. And if you and see, here's the thing. What I've learned after 28 years of doing stand-up is it's not always about, because I love comedy so much. I just want everybody to be a comedian. But what I've learned is everybody, even people that take comedy classes, everybody doesn't per se want to be a comedian, but everybody wants to know how to have a good conversation, or everybody wants to know how to be funny, or if anything, just be able to tell a good joke, you know? So yeah, we will be definitely having those classes, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, you know, I'm telling you, Miss Donna, when myself and Jordan talk, we just every time we spoke, the ideas just kept flowing, because with me being a veteran, with her having the nonprofit and me having my skill set and she having her skill set, it was just nothing better than us being able to come together and put these skill sets together and drive forward. And speaking of that, I do want to say this. I know that you will be sharing this on YouTube, so I want to make sure I make a point to people that will be seeing this futuristically. Realize, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a nonprofit organization, meaning that in order for us to be able to do works, we need your donations. We need help to be able to do work. Let me say this. I'm not starving. My kids ain't starving. We're eating food every day. I have a roof over my head. However, the philanthropy that I want to do, the men that I want to help, again, we're starting this men's branch, reaching to these veterans that we want to help. We want to go to Skid Row. We want to go to clinics and talk to women who are going through postpartum depression. Again, being the men's part of this organization, I personally want to strengthen men to be able to strengthen other men, to be able to understand when their wives, girlfriends, sisters, friends, and coworkers are going through postpartum depression. See, when men, when we realize and take ourselves out of the equation for a moment, a lot of times, I call it the monkey. Let me tell you about the monkey. The monkey gets mad, right? And the monkey takes over. The monkey takes over. The monkey takes over you. He takes over what you do. He takes over where you're going. He takes over your actions. And then you end up divorced. You end up in jail. You end up busting out a window. You end up acting like a monkey, basically. But when you have been taught, when you know better, you do better. When you go through, again, we're going to set up courses, frameworks to teach men how to react to control that monkey. You see where I'm coming from? So when you're dealing with things and you're going, what's wrong with her? Instead of saying it like that, you have discernment and you have patience and you have understanding, and you sit back and again, sometimes when you give that woman that chance or give her that space to figure it out, she'll come back and apologize and say, you know what, I was tripping. I see what you were trying to say or what you were trying to do. But what we have to learn is discernment. And that's why things like this are so important. And so when I say to you, in order for us to be able to do better works, we need your donations. And we also need your input. If you want to make a donation and an input, that would be excellent. Make your donation, make an input, and we will follow up with you and show you where your dollars are going. But in order for us to really do the things that we need to do, we will be doing these fundraisers because, again, we are not soliciting funds for our own personal gain. We are trying to solicit funds so that we as a team can get out here and help our community, because it's about families. And that's what we're trying to do, build stronger, solid families in order to manifest a magnificent future for our people.
Yep. Well, thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we do need donations. I put our information in the chat, my website. He put his information in the chat. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Uh, Maybe soon we'll start TikTok and some other platforms and stuff. But for now, we're trying our best to really get the word out there. I've been on a couple of like interviews talking about postpartum, talking about my experience with postpartum, and that's why I created this nonprofit, because I actually dealt with postpartum. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I went through divorce. I used to live in Texas. I had to move back home. Thank God my ex-husband and I have a good co-parenting with my daughter and stuff, like he mentioned earlier. But it was rough. Like, and now I'm realizing there's a lot of women that are either dealing with postpartum or dealt with postpartum, and either they know it or they don't know it. And even if they find out that they have postpartum, they're still like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? And some doctors are prescribing medication. I didn't go that route. I chose to figure out what was going on with me the natural way, going to church, reading my Bible, hanging out with family, spending time with my daughter, like you said, working out. I wasn't heavily working out, but, getting my walk in, trying to eat healthy, and, just doing what I need to do for me, and stuff like that. And so now I'm, after I came out of postpartum, the Lord told me, hey, once I help you, overcome this, I need you to start a nonprofit. And so I told Lord, I said, bet, I got you. I got you. Soon as because I kept saying, Lord, help me get out of whatever this is. Because I was a little like irritated. Like, I don't know what this is. I didn't find joy. I was not finding joy in nothing anymore, which is, like I said before in other interviews and stuff like that. I've always told my story. I'm an open book. But everybody that knows me knows that I am a bubbly, happy, go lucky, was it optimistic? Whatever. Anyways, I believe life is wonderful. Life is great. People used to say, Jordan, you think life is just rainbows and butterflies? I say, yeah, because it is. That's just me. That's just how I think and how I operate. And so when people are going through things, and everybody's been going through things, we have to make sure that we're supporting each other, and when we overcome, we have to make sure we're telling our story. Nobody would have even known that I was going through postpartum if I didn't say nothing. I wouldn't have helped the people that I've helped if I didn't speak up and say, you know what? I dealt with postpartum. I dealt with a divorce. I dealt with this. I dealt with that. Nobody would never even known. And like with Louis' story, with his heart surgery and all the things he was going through, with his children's mother and all that stuff, that's not just happening to us on this Zoom. That's happening to a lot of people. And if we have overcome these things, we should be able to speak up and tell our testimony and let people know, hey, I overcame this heart disease. I overcame this stroke. I overcame postpartum. I overcame, you know, alcoholism and this and this and that. Like, we should be able to not be afraid, because we went through it, and we never know who our story is going to touch. And you never know, once it touches their life, then it might touch somebody else's life, and so on. And next thing you know, it ain't nobody gonna be dealing with postpartum. Ain't nobody gonna be, depressed, because we gonna either be laughing, because laughter is medicine, and we gonna be helping each other. So we have to continuously help each other, support the men, support the fathers, support the moms, support the women, support the kids, so that we can all be better, do better, and, just not be stressed out. Does anybody else have anything they would like to say or chime in? We saw somebody new come in. If you want to say hey. You want to
What's up,
shout out?
brother? Jamathon George, how you doing, brother? VP of Talent Acquisitions, how you doing, brother? Did he leave?
I think it dropped off. Hold on. We'll wait till he come back.
Dropped out. Yeah.
It's all right. We'll wait till he come back.
Okay.
But our core values is love, support, compassion, and encouragement. And so with this nonprofit, with the women and the men branch, we want to make sure that we're loving on each other, make sure we're supporting each other, showing compassion and encouraging one another. Because we're all dealing with life. Life, like they be saying, life be life.
Life be life.
Mm-hmm. Because it it do. So let's see. I guess we'll do a giveaway. So let's see.
Yeah.
I do have a journal. Boom. That will be given away. So yeah. You guys can put your name in the chat. We'll say who is the winner, and I will either mail it to you, or if you live down the street from my house, I will drop it off. So you guys make sure you put your names in the chat so that we can sing you this lovely, lovely, lovely notebook. So now you can write all your thoughts out on I did a journaling workshop, and the lady that came on, it was a guided journaling workshop, and we had men on there, we had women, and like I was telling them before, my story, when I did therapy, you know, when I was going through postpartum and all that, my therapist, counselor, whatever, was telling me to, you know, write my thoughts, how I was feeling that day, write it in the journal. And when I started writing, everything started getting a little poetic. And so now, guess what? I have a poetry book.
Okay.
I have a children's book.
Wow.
And I have a devotional book. And I will show y'all that in a minute. So you never know where your writing would come from. I mean, what it will end up being. So let's see.
You better go ahead, George. Did you get my private side message?
Let me see. Hold on. Okay.
Just let me know when you're ready, but take the time. Yeah, but keep on chopping. Let me know when you're ready, though.
Okay. I think we got some more people in the chat. We got like 2 people on there.
Welcome in, y'all.
All right, so let's see. Put your name in the chat. And Miss Arlene, you are our winner.
Hey, Miss Arlene.
Woo! Gotta make sure I write your name down so I don't forget. Miss Arlene, and I know where you always at church. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll drop it off to you.
Down the street.
Down the street.
Down the street.
I
mean, you know where I am right now. I'm in the IE, but you know, tomorrow I will be at church tomorrow.
Okay. So you are a winner of our notebook journal.
All right.
Woo-hoo! All right. So Mr. Lewis, I will let you continue.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys. As a matter of fact, speaking of church, there is a youth ministry meeting that started at 5 on, the conference line. So I'm gonna have to go join that.
I understand. But guess what? This is gonna be uploaded on YouTube, so you'll be able to rewatch it.
Okay.
And make sure you tell the youth ministry too.
That's what I was thinking. I certainly will.
Well, we thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you and your family. Of
course.
Everybody her and her family has known me since I was a child. Probably not when I was not even thought of yet.
He wasn't even born.
Oh yes, Miss Arlene, Auntie Arlene, we thank you for coming on, and I'll let you get to your meeting and tell them I said hello.
I sure will.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you for coming in today, Miss Arlene. We enjoyed your energy and your spirit.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna say, how do I get out?
I think you have to go to the bottom and say and push in.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. So this is me, you, and Mama. We're gonna go on and wrap. I want to spend a few.
Miss Violet.
Miss Violet's over there. Hey, Miss Violet. Thank you for staying with us. I want to take a few minutes and talk about mental illness for a second. because as we stated earlier, mental illness is so what's the word I'm looking for? So taboo in our community. It's so misunderstood, made fun of. It's ostracized. It's very dismissed. There's not a lot of compassion for people, from our people that suffer from mental illness. A lot of times people, especially those of us who, even though I'm Christian and I'm a Christian, I rock with the Christian community. Sometimes our community within itself can be very judgmental of people. And instead of looking deeper into a person's history and being more understanding of a person's mental health, the first thing we would say is, like, I knew a young lady that was suffering from some horrible things, and her grandmother just kept saying, you need to call on Jesus, you need to call on Jesus, you need to call on Jesus, read your Bible. And she was trying to explain to her grandmother that that's not what I need. I'm not getting what I need from that. I'm not getting this healing that you say I'm going to get from reading the Bible, from praying, from going to church. I'm going to church and I'm praying, but I still have mental problems. I still have mental issues. And what the church tends to do is become a bit dismissive of anything. TD Jakes said something once, and I'm a big supporter of TD Jakes. I mean, that man done preached me through the roof sometimes. But he said something, but again, he's a human being, like all of us. He said something one time, and he said, well, if it's not in the Bible, I don't know, there was nothing he could do about it. Or he basically was talking about, like if there was a problem that if it's not in the Bible, he doesn't know anything about it. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that I feel is somewhat dismissive. I want to share a personal story with you all, because I believe that the experiences that I went through to be able to share with people and talk about them and live through the experiences I went through, to be able to comfortably, cognitively talk about things in this form the way I am now, so that way people can get an understanding of what I'm saying. But when I was in another situation, God blessed me to be able to come out of those situations, to be able to be here to effectively communicate to the public my issues and my feelings about mental illness. When I was 22 years old, I lost my mother to cancer. And I was first of all, I was firstborn. So if you all know anything about a woman and her firstborn son, that bond it's a bond like no other. You can't even really put words into it. It's almost wow. It's like giving birth to your prince, And so my mother was only 20 when she had me. So we used to joke about the fact that we grew up together somewhat, because even though she was well enough a full grown woman to be able to have a child, she still herself was very young. So again, we somewhat grew up together. I mean, now that I'm older, I look at things and I really see that when I was 3, my mother was 23. When I was 5, my mother was 25. At the time, I'm just a kid. I didn't see it like that until now, being a full grown man, I'm realizing that, whoa, when I was 15, my mother was only 35, and now I see that from a different angle, being a 50-year-old man. But when I was in my teens and going to the military and things of that nature, like I said, we had a very strong relationship. So we all have lost someone. To everybody on here and everybody that will see it, I completely understand. that's part of living in this human life. You're going to lose someone. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You're going to lose someone that you feel that you absolutely can't live without. I went through that when I lost my mother, August 11th of 1997. My entire foundation was taken from me with that last breath taken by her. She had already got me out the army. She even said on her deathbed, she said, I'm not worried about you. She said, I raised you. She said, I'm not worried about you. She knew what she invested in me. So she, in her own words, I'm not worried about you. I raised you. But when she left this world and I no longer had her, I share with you all today, it took me literally a year to realize, to accept, and to be in the headspace that my mother was deceased, that she was never coming back. I ended up having nightmares. I ended up having a nervous breakdown. I share this story because just like with the stroke, just like with the heart surgery, just like having to go to court and fight custody, you can't look at me and see any of that. You can't literally look at me and see any of the things that I'm telling you right now. You can't look at me and see that. But when I was in the hospital, having to be medicated, when I didn't know my left from my right, when I didn't know where I was going or coming, when I was confused, when I stayed up, literally, it's funny how God works. When I went into a coma, I slept for 4 days, but when I was going through a mental health crisis, I didn't sleep for 4 days. You see what I'm saying? And see, here's the thing. I'm not ashamed to tell these stories because I can help somebody. Somebody else is going through or has been through or is about to go through what I'm telling you all about today. This is why the men's wellness branch of this nonprofit organization is so important and vital, because these stories are not talked about. Where have you been and what platform have you been on where a man, a black man that looked like me, healthy, happy, is willing to be transparent enough to tell you the truth about his journey? Because I'm not ashamed. Because I know my journey will help someone. See, that's the thing. And I've heard this before. I want to say this, and then we're going to take a break. But I really want to make a point and drive this point home. I'm living proof that you shouldn't give up on someone that's considered mentally ill. I'm living proof that you shouldn't give up on someone who's had a nervous breakdown. Don't give up. And before I close out, I want to say this. Don't give up, but don't be stupid either. Let me make a point about that when I say don't give up, but don't be stupid. I have a flesh and blood child, my firstborn daughter, who suffers from mental illness. Now, she's my child. So, of course, that unconditional love is there. Always has been and always will be. However, when I say don't be stupid, I can't trust her around my younger kids. You understand what I'm saying? I don't feel comfortable in a space with her alone. Okay? So when I say don't give up, but don't be stupid, that's a real statement that I'm making. Because even when I was going through what I went through, mine was from sorrow. I was so hurt until I couldn't go on. I was so hurt that I couldn't go on, but I wasn't violent. See, there are different types of of reactions. People with mental illness react different. Sometimes some of them get violent, and you have to consider yourself first in those instances. When you know someone is violent or prone to be violent, you have to protect yourself, because people do, I hate to say it, people do unalive their parents, which in my mind, in my head, I couldn't imagine someone doing that, but it happens. So in order to save yourself, that's when I use the term don't be stupid, but pray for that person at a distance. I wouldn't say, if this is a person you love or someone in your life, I wouldn't say don't make sure that person doesn't eat. I wouldn't say don't make sure you don't check on that person. However, use your common sense. If this person has some type of violent tendencies or has said certain things, or if you look at paperwork, it tells you this person has homicidal ideation. This person has suicidal ideation. You have to be mindful of being around that person. Because if a person has suicidal ideation, you got to think, if a person has suicidal ideation, what would they do to you? Homicidal ideation, the same thing. These terms are there for a reason, and they're a warning. You could love someone, and like I said, the love is unconditional. However, always be realistic, and God said it himself, put yourself first. Put yourself first. You can love someone from a distance sometimes with mental illness, and if they can be helped. See, here's my thing. It's a saying, it only works if you work it. I give you a prime example, and then we're going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. When my ex took my kids from me, I went into a dark place again. See, these are stages. I didn't wake up 50 years old. I had to live every day. I had to go through every moment of my life in order to get here today. So at that stage, when she took my kids from me, you know what I did? I went straight to the VA and I said, look, I need some help. I said, I need to talk to somebody. I said, I'm hurting. I don't have my kids. And because I'm not a violent person, I knew I wasn't going to do anything to jeopardize anybody's safety, but I was hurting and I needed to talk to someone. And I was strong enough to admit that and go get help. That's what happens with a lot of us as men. We think being strong is being a brute, being physically strong, being able to take everything, being able to deal with the worst case scenario, the worst days, feelings, and moments in your life without crying. That makes you tough. No, it does not make you tough. It makes you sick, brother. It makes you sick. And when I say sick, you can develop the things I'm talking about. You can develop health issues. You can develop cancers by holding all of these pains in. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about men's financial health too, because that's something that's very important as well. Men need to get into their financial health as well. We've talked about physical health. We've talked about mental health. I'm going to give the floor to my supervisor. I like messing with her. My supervisor. I saw that. You like that one, I did. I'm going to give the floor back to my supervisor. And then we're going to come back. And I definitely want to touch on men's financial health, because again, this is about health, and health isn't just spiritual. It isn't just mental. It isn't just physical. Men, we need to start investing in our financial health as well. So I'm going to give it back to my supervisor, and we'll come back in a minute.
You're so funny. That's why you're the comedian. I got jokes too. I'm scared. Well, thank you. No, that is, wow. That was good. That was some good stuff right there. Because like he said, mental health is important. And along with the postpartum, man, people are not taking mental health and postpartum and all these things. Like he said, especially our culture, African American. Hey, I'm African American, so I can say this. We don't take some of those things seriously. And so when we see these things in people or our family members or in ourselves or with our friends or with our loved ones, and we notice it, we have to say something. either pull them to the side and talk to them about it, or try to get them the help that they need. But we can't just push it to the side and push it under the rug and push it behind the couch. We just can't do that. We can no longer do that. So I'm so glad he's talking about the importance of, mental health and all that. So no, that's some good stuff right there. Anybody have anything they want to say or tap in real quick? All right. Well, you know what? I didn't think I introduced myself. So I'm gonna just give you a little brief, a little rundown. I'm gonna introduce myself. So I am, like I said, Demisha Jordan Williams, the founder of FreeMe Incorporated nonprofit. I'm a Christian woman. I am a mother. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I am a creator. I am an author. I am a fashion stylist. I am a poet. I am a former teacher. I worked with toddler age all the way up until school age. I used to be a dance teacher. A choreographer. I'm certified member of the LA South Chamber. I am an alumni of West Los Angeles College, where I just received my liberal arts, behavioral social science degree. Also went to the Art Institute, where I got my fashion degree. And so let's see, hold on. And also received my certificate from this is gonna be long, the Black Girl Maternity Mental Health Training Institute as a mental health peer support specialist. Whew. I was married. I went through a divorce. Like I said, I dealt with postpartum. And like I said, I overcame postpartum. And like I said, that's the reason why I started this nonprofit, because I dealt with postpartum, and I felt that when the Lord helped me overcome it, that I would love to, help and uplift other women and other moms, get through it. And then when I started thinking about it more, I included families, which includes the men and fathers and children, because it takes a village to support that mom. It takes a village to support that woman. And now I'm realizing, or I've already realized, that it takes a village to support that man and that father and those kids. And so as it's about partnership, it's about unity, it's about breaking generational curses, it's about legacy, it's about, togetherness. And so that's what this organization is, I'm trying to do, is just bring families like back together, bring the fathers, the men, the children, the mothers, the women, the grandmothers. I partner up with When 1,000 Grandmas Pray. And so I, partner up with that organization. And, I just feel like it's about family. It's about family, and it's about unity and partnership and togetherness. So like I said, I put my information in the chat. Lewis put his information in the chat, and I will let him continue. And he did put something in the chat. Oh,
yeah. Let me unmute myself. I unmuted myself. First of all, I just want to say this because again, more people than just us are gonna see this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sharp, sister. Ain't nothing like a sister that's like, okay, well, you know how they say with the receipts, the Misha, like, look, I am in charge. I run the SROS DC. I'm certified in wellness coaching, certifications on top of those certifications. And then after you get certified in that, I got 3 more. And I'm also degreed. I say, whoa, this sister sharp. Sure. And you know what I really respect, because see, I have a college education, a military, award-winning Toastmaster, and I have like 4 different certifications in because I take parenting classes in my leisure. Seriously, I just love taking parenting classes. That's something that I picked up on the way to dealing with the court system. But I want to say this, I just appreciate the effort that you have put into magnifying that great brain of yours and using it. And more people need to I think you need to start a female mentorship program. And when I say female, I'm talking about for the young girls, because see, I'm a father of girls. I have 5 daughters. Okay. And so when I say, like, I'm looking at the image of my sisters on television, the image of my sisters in the music or entertainment business. See, a lot of people in the entertainment game don't understand how powerful we are as influencers. That's the new word they're using, influencers. Because who didn't want to be Michael Jackson back in the day? You know, who didn't want to be, you know, as a comedian, who didn't want, I know I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. You see what I'm saying? These things are part of the power that comes with being in that position where when the camera goes on you, millions of people are going to look to find out and see who you are. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, what I shared in the chat was I have a show coming up on November 23rd. That'll be at the Ha Cafe, the Ha Comedy Club. That's 4712 Lankershim Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, 91602. The show starts at 7 o'clock p.m. It will be over at 8:45 p.m. Again, that's November 23rd at the Ha Cafe. And I also put in use code Lewis, Louis, for 15% off all VIP tickets. That's VIP and general admission. You get 15% off when you use my promo code, which is Lewis, Louis, 15% off. Please go to that link and support your boy, man. I'm trying to win out here. I'm trying to build a life, a career, and I'm still doing it. And see, that's the beauty, man. Being 50 years old, I've been on Comic View. I got a dry bar special. I toured the country doing stand-up, but I'm still grinding, and it feels good to be able to still grind, you know. So just to keep y'all posted on that.
Okay. And then, one thing I was gonna say, the people that are not on anymore, I'll make sure I send it to those particular people that were on tonight.
Absolutely.
So make sure they get that information.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So we got 30 more minutes left. I want to get into something, you know, for about 15 minutes, and I want you guys' opinion on it too, because Demisha, I know that you had shared with me that you were divorced, but with your divorce, finances wasn't part of the problem, was it at all, huh?
I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, see, that's what I want to talk about is financial relationships, because when I say relationships, men, we seem to feel that, I mean, how many men do you know that are really concerned about finances? Like
all of them.
No. Okay. Listen. I'm finna make a point. There's a difference between finances and money. Okay. There's a difference between being financially stable and having money. So when you say, when we say men naturally, realistically, being born in America, being man or woman, you can say, there you go. Miss Donna know what I'm talking about. Miss Donna know what I'm talking about. Men and women are concerned about money. Everybody wants and needs money, because what money is going to do is keep a roof over your head, and it's going to keep food in your belly. It's going to keep gas in the car. So everybody's concerned about money. But there's a level that's called financial wellness, financial literacy. So here's the thing. Most men that I know live and die by that paycheck. Live and die by that 9 to 5. I'm going to work, get this money, pay my bills, chill out, you know, get something to eat, go to the bar, have a drink. And again, he's not looking at where could I be in 10 years if I were to put $5 a week to the side. Where could I be in 10 years if I put $100 a month to the side? Where could I be if I invested, downloaded Robinhood, and started investing in the stock market? Learn the stock market. Where could I be if I learned that? If I took some classes and started learning financial literacy? See, these are the things that I want us to get sponsored for, so that we can invite guests and have financial literacy classes. I took a financial literacy class and I learned something so powerful, Demisha. Let me tell you something. It changed the way I looked at money, and it changed the way I looked at credit. We're going to excerpt this part out that I'm finna say right now, because I really want to, when I say excerpt out, I want to cut this up and I want to make a short out of this, because I'm about to give y'all what I'm going to call some free game. Okay, free game. Here's how money really works. And here is how it works in the big leagues. I'm not talking about these $300-400 that you know I'm trying to scrape together to, you know, for my little birthday party. I ain't talking about them $300-400, you know. I ain't talking about the $200 I got to pay on my Spectrum bill, you know. But you know, the $1,600 rent. I'm not talking about that. That's basic. What I'm talking about and leaning into is us putting our resources together and getting someone to loan us $250,000. Here's what happens when you get that amount of money in a loan form, right? Not for a house, not for a car, but specifically for your business. I'm going to tell you how to break that money down. I took a business class, a financial literacy class, and it was like, okay, you get $250,000. Your monthly payment is going to be X amount of dollars a month. What you do first is you take 1/3 of that $250,000, 1/3 of it, and you put it in an account. And that account is set up to pay the bill, whatever your note is on that $250,000. You already got a year worth of that paid for. So that way now you have, let's say, about $175,000 that you can do what you want with, because for an entire year, you building credit. You see where I'm coming from? Because you're paying it, you're not even looking at it. You got it on auto pay, because that, I'm just throwing a number. I didn't really work out the logistics, but let's just say 75,000 of that $250,000. You take 75,000 of that, you put into account, and you set up automatic payments to pay back the loan. Then you have flesh over here, just throwing a number out there, say 175,000. Then you take 1/3 of that and you invest in your business, and you allow your business, you start looking at that's when you start looking at your P&Ls, your profit and loss. So you take that other 1/3 and put it directly into your business. And then you take the other 1/3 and you save it and don't touch it. But you live out of and invest in with the 1/3. Now, let me tell you what happens in 1 year. In 1 year, the lender is looking at you saying, hey, we'll give you what you want. Not only did you pay this bill, you paid your bill, you paid exactly what we asked you to pay, and you paid it on time. Now, we do know that there's a balance left on this bill. However, you've shown us over an entire year of paying the complete interest rate, everything for a year, that we trust you now. So you did good with the $250,000. What you need? Now I need $500,000. Here you go. Because you already showed us what you was going to do with that $250,000, right? Now you need $500,000. I already saw what you was going to do. You showed me what you do with the $250,000. So I'm going to give you this $500,000. Here you go. And you know what you do? You use that same strategy. And you use that same strategy. And then the next thing you know what happens? You got a $5 million loan. Because you've built from showing the lenders that you can be trusted. And that's how you build massive amounts. That's how people, record companies, big businesses, that's why they're always going bankrupt and having this and that, because what they do is they do that. That is everything that we see, every building that you see, everything that you see is the business game that those big boys are playing. You know what I'm saying? So when I say financial literacy, there are things that, and goes for both men and women, but especially men, because what men need to stop just being concerned about is a few dollars, some money, because that's that's simplified. They didn't teach us in school. If you notice in school, not nowhere from what I know from my generation, not no ed class that I took, excuse me, told me that I needed to get an LLC. No class that I took told me that I could benefit from, especially with, you know, being a heart patient, being a veteran. No class that I took from elementary to high school told me that, hey, you know, you could start a nonprofit organization or you could run a business. Every class that I took prepared me for a 9 to 5. No class that I took taught and prepared me and pushed me towards being a business owner. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, when you say everybody concerned about money, who ain't concerned about money? But we need to start thinking again. Just think about what I just told you, right? The game I just gave you. Imagine me, you, your mother. We get 2 more veterans. We get 3 more people that have a business head, and we all pool and put our resources together, and we make that investment. And we already come into it knowing that, okay, look, FreeMe just secured a $500,000. What's known before we even try to buy a new computer, before we buy a new laptop, before we try to get the brick and mortar, before we do any of that, we as a team already know that 1/3 of that money, a year's worth of whatever it's going to take to pay back, is not to be touched by any of us. That's something that we agreed to prior to even before we got the money. So once we get the money, we know that, hey, this is earmarked to prepare us for our next venture. So we're already what? When we talked, I told you, I said, we got to start thinking 5 years ahead. Remember I told you that? I said, we got to think of where FreeMe is going to be in the next 5 years, where FreeMe is going to be in 10 years. You know, let me tell you something. We are building something that's going to outlive us. That's big. That's deep. Yeah. We are building something to be able to hand to our children. You understand? So when I say to you, hey, we start now, we already know this money ain't going to be touched. This money is going directly into the business. This is going to be for us to rent like say a hotel room to have a live function. And, you know, we get sponsors and tickets and this and that. And that's what this money is for, to invest in that. And then we look at the P&Ls and see how it's looking. Boom. That's what that money's for. And then the savings, just like that other third, a third saved, a third on the bills. And then we got the little money we working with that we're going to do business with. And then a year later, we just keep building, keep building, keep building. And that's how you make money flow. See, that's the thing I learned in that business class. And it was so powerful. And I remember when the brother was teaching the class, he was saying, he said, when he started the class, he said, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Everything that you learned in school, forget it. Everything that you think you were taught, like, yeah, ABCs and XYZs, yeah, that's cool. But they didn't teach you how to do business. They taught you how to be a worker. They didn't teach you how to. And when I thought about it, I really looked at it logistically. For example, you are what? You're an author. You're a speaker. Yep. Just imagine if there was a financial plan set up for you where all you're doing in a week, you got 4 different events where you have to go and speak, and you're getting paid top dollar to do that. The money you have to invest in what? Your travel, your outfits, you're getting your hair done and stuff like that. And then guess what? Oh, that's a tax write-off. So not only are you getting paid to do the stuff that you need to be doing, that you're doing and spreading the word and helping people with your message, you're also intelligently making sure that every dime that you spend, you're getting back because, okay, you got to get your hair done. You got to make sure that your makeup is on point. You have to have an outfit. You have to have travel to wherever you're going. You have to make sure that it's advertised properly. So that's where that mid money is. So whatever comes back as far as getting sponsors, as far as the ticket sales and all that stuff, then at the end of the night, you look at P&Ls, but you're doing this 4 and 5 times a week. You own flights. You in Chicago, you in New York, you in LA, you in Texas, you in Florida, you in Alabama, you in Mississippi. It's a big world out here. And they waiting on us. They need us. You know? This Zoom is, and see, again, we on Zoom. This is powerful. We're going to get this message right here, right now, out to, because again, once we finish it, chop it up and just start sending it out and let people know, hey, we gave and chop this segment up. We had a financial literacy class in 45 minutes. And the brother broke some stuff down that is powerful, and he gave it to us free, and it's something we can all use. So let's start thinking. See, the way I'm trying to get us to think certain ways. you know. And we're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna close these last minutes out. I want to talk about men. I especially want to talk about us as parents, because we are parents too, and definitely this is a big part of why we are doing this to FreeMe Inc., the men's wellness branch. I really want to talk to the guys about being a dad. So I'm gonna take a little break, give it back to my supervisor. I just love saying that, D.
Man.
Hey, give back to my supervisor. Okay, like, so y'all look, I'm chill for a minute, and then I'm gonna let my supervisor go and talk to y'all for a second. But when you come back, fellas, I'm gonna talk to y'all about literally the most rewarding part of my life. And I got a surprise for y'all coming up too. The most rewarding thing in my life, being a father. So let's take a quick break. Come right back.
Thank you. Supervisor. Lord, boss, Miss Boss Lady. I'm just kidding. All right, y'all. So yeah, since this is on Zoom, I will let you guys know that I am a author. I do have a children's book called How Miss Cheetah Got Her Spots, which is all my books are all on Amazon. You guys can make sure you go, check it out. I will definitely put my information in the chat. So let's see. Give me one moment, y'all. So yes, I do have the children's book, How Much Cheetah Got Her Spots. I have my poetry book, The Poetry of Love and Everything in Between, also available on Amazon. And our newest book that I just came out with called The Blossom Devotional Journal. Make sure you guys go check that out on Amazon. And yes, definitely go do that. Like he said, we're going to be doing some, and I actually have a men's devotional that's supposed to be coming out really soon too. And so, yes, we'll be having some fundraisers, some poetry slams, some basketball tournaments, and some comedy night, some workout classes, dance classes, clothes giveaway, toy giveaway, fashion shows. Like I said, I work in fashion, so I definitely want to do a fashion show so badly. And some of our other resources that we have, we've partnered up with the LA South Chamber, the WIC program, Mother's Nutrition Center, LA Care Community Resource Center, Black Girls Vitamins, and also, like I said, we're just trying to provide, I'm also trying to provide available counseling for women and their families. And, it's not set in stone just yet. I'm still, got potential partnerships going on, other meetings I have to have, but that is my ultimate goal, is to start having free, like I said, free counseling for women and their families. Not just dealing with postpartum, but just dealing with life, because I feel like, like once again, as African American people, just people in general, some people think that therapy is just, I'll just say it's just stupid. I know I probably should have chose a better word, but people, think that going to therapy, people think like, oh, that person's crazy or something's wrong with that person. No, I went to therapy. I'm not crazy, but I went to therapy because I knew something was wrong and going on in my life, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And because I do have my family, I do have my friends to talk to, I wanted somebody outside of my family and friends to get their perspective on what I should do and how I should handle situations and, things that I was going through. Of course, we have family that we can talk to. We have friends. We have our church. We have our, our groups that we could talk to. But it's more extra, I don't know, extra help, extra support. Like my mom said, getting that clinical help, oftentimes could help us navigate through our issues a little bit better. Instead of our mama just saying, girl, just go get your hair done. You'll be all right.
Right. Or go to church.
Not saying my mom said that, but I'm saying
but it's
when
like
I
what we
was
talked about.
when I was dealing with postpartum, I had people tell me, just go get your hair done. Just go on a date. Just go do this. Just go do that. Just go out. Just go get your nails done. And I went to get my nails done, and guess what? I still went home and was sad
Mm.
with my cute nails, with my cute
Ah,
hairstyle. So it's really not about, oh, what I want to say, it's not about the outer appearance. You know, we can look beautiful all day long. We can look handsome all day long, have the nice clothes, nice shoes, nice hair, nice nails. But there was something going on within me that needed to be dealt with. And so once that got dealt with and that was worked out, then I was able to go get my nails and my hair done and feel, you know, like the person that I know I'm already am. I don't know if that makes sense. And that's the reason why I love fashion so much, because I wanted to make sure I let people know that yes, fashion, it can make you look 10 times better, you know, when you got your hair done, your nails done, you know, you got that nice outfit on, that nice suit on. But if you're not working on your inner self, your heart, like my pastor say, your heart posture,
mm.
the core part of you, all that outer beauty doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. And that's what I grown to realize. The outer beauty, yes, you know, you look good, you smell good, whatever. But if you're not working on your inner beauty, your heart posture, your inner self, that outer appearance will be garbage. Sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I like that heart posture. I like that.
Yeah.
Heart posture. I
Yeah.
like the
So
temple.
yeah.
All
I
right.
will let Lewis continue.
Okay, yeah. I'm about to close it out, but
Okay.
and with closing it out, like I told you all, I had a surprise for you. I want to talk about again, I want to kind of cap everything we talked about so far. I shared with you all my mental journey. I shared with you all my health journey. Um, what else did I share with you all? I shared a bit about my spiritual journey. And again, like Demisha said, to close out, you all do know that I'm an actor, comedian. I did share a link to a show that I have November 23rd. I will be also at the Barbara Morrison Theater November 28th. We'll be doing promos for that, but please follow me, like, share, and subscribe my channels and stuff. All that information will be shared when we do the YouTube. But in closing today, the last subject I want to cover, and I know from personal experience that men, and especially in this day and age in 2025, I'm gonna say for the past at least 5 years since I've been in the situation myself, I've noticed it has been very troubling dealing with the custody court system. But I want to show you all something, and then from there I will continue with this message. But come here, baby. This is what I want to show y'all. Come here. This is my daughter. This right here. This is my baby. This is, when I say my baby, she's 11, and this is my last one, and she know it. I nicknamed her. I told her one day, I said, "Baby, you my last shot." She was a little baby. She said, "I'm daddy's last shot." So she knows this is my baby right here. She knows she's my last shot. But I want to tell y'all about this little angel before I let her go back in her room. Straight A student, step class. And her teacher last year when she finished 5th grade told me that she's half human, half AI. She's a pure delight to have as a child. And I say this to all the men out there, because again, I've seen the situations. It may hurt, but you got to fight. This is living proof you got to fight. I got my baby with me. And if I didn't fight, I wouldn't have my baby with me. Got to fight. I'm going to go back in your room, baby. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So I showed y'all that. I wanted, because again, when I say surprise, I wanted y'all to see that, because this is what a lot of people, don't know. I went 2 years without being able to see my children. I consider that the dark time. I was journaling during that time. I consider that the dark time. It was so painful. Her and her sister, she has a sister too that's 13. But it was so painful because I could not understand why. Not only, okay, let's just put it is what it is. I'm a country boy. I didn't kind of understand. I didn't understand why my ex would want to do something like that. But what was more painful was the fact that the courts basically gave her this permission. Yes, he can. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna side with you. He's nuts. He's a black man in here crying about his kids. Yeah, let's write this down. Yeah, you know, zero visitation, zero custody, zero everything. Couldn't even talk to my own children for 2 years. Okay, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Same way I talked about losing my mother and that hurt, because I had certain experiences before, I was better prepared. So that way I didn't have a nervous breakdown. But I was jacked up though. I was in an emotional state, but I knew, hey, I got to stay strong. I got to keep my sanity. So what I did was I went to the VA and I got me some help. And everybody can't go to the VA. I get that. So that's why that's why I advocate for young men to go to the military too. I advocate for that. And I also advocate for any person, especially men. When you're in that situation and they done threw you away and they done took your rights and you can't see your baby, it's classes that I've taken. It's ways you have to deal with it. I went zero communication with her mother. Zero communication. No talking, no conversation, no text message, no email, nothing. And I went down and dirty and I did what I had to do. I was at the law library 3 times a week studying. If I applied myself, I know I could get a law degree, because right now, like I said, I know how to go to court without an attorney because I've learned what to do, what to fill out. When you fill the paperwork out, man, you have to have 3 copies. You have to have 1 copy for yourself, 1 copy for the judge, and then have her served with a copy. See, these are the basic things that now I know like second nature, because I've done it. I've had to do it so many times. I've had to fight. What you all just saw, I had to fight for that moment. I had to fight to be able to have her in my house right now. I had to literally fight for that. And it was literally the fight of my life. It was the fight of my life. And what it showed me is I got some fight in me. I went to the hospital. I went to court fresh out of the hospital on a walker going to court right after my second heart surgery, because I don't care if y'all got to roll me in a wheelchair. I don't care if I got to get rolled in here on a gurney. If I got air in my body and can breathe, I'm going to get to this court and they going to know that I'm a father, and this person, woman, and y'all ain't gonna keep me from my kids. And see, black men gotta learn how to handle themselves in court. I lost these girls because I didn't know how to handle myself in court. I didn't know what was going on. You see what I'm saying? I had no idea. But again, what did I say when we first started this, y'all? I'm 2 things. I'm educated and I'm capable. That's a dangerous brother. Because their mama can't stand me, but it don't matter that she can't stand me, because guess what? I'm educated and I'm capable. And now that I have some therapy and a sense of mind, I can't be stopped. I've studied stoicism. See, this goes back to dealing with women who are having postpartum depression. Women who are having certain distresses. And before we get out of here, I want to make this clear, because I did write this down in my notes that I wanted to share with everyone to make this clear. And I really, and Demisha, I just want to really give you your roses and your praises for allowing me to be part of this, and realizing that it takes a village and it takes community, and really having a thing for men, a space for men, because men really, really need it. We need a space. We need a space for love. We need a space for care. We need a space for growth. We need a space where someone is going to care for us. So with that being said, man, that's pretty much all I got, man. We're gonna follow up with y'all with the comedy shows, and we're gonna follow up with you all with the classes. We're gonna follow up with you all with the live appearances. Today has just been magical. It's been powerful. I've been anticipating it. Y'all see, we done shared it on Facebook. We shared it everywhere. We're going to keep pumping this, because we're going to do it every month. And FreeMe and TreLuv, TreLuv Smith, is going to make some magical things happen. So please keep in touch with what we're doing, y'all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to pray out in a second. I want to thank you. We just met, what, it was like 2 weeks ago, and we already moving and grooving, like, and make it, because there's purpose. There's purpose in our pain.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Long story short.
Good talk.
And obviously we had to go through whatever we went through to get to this point where now we're able to speak about it, talk about it, tell our testimony, and help other people. And so I want to thank you for coming on and being a speaker and being a part of this movement, this organization. Thank my mom for coming on. Thank everybody that came on tonight. And anybody who wasn't able to come on tonight, it's okay because it's going to be on YouTube. So check it out. And actually next week, we actually have a financial literacy class. Yeah. Next Saturday. So I will definitely send you the info.
So that's going to be on Zoom?
It's gonna be on Zoom. So if you miss it, it'll be
what day next week?
That's next Saturday.
Okay, next Saturday I'm going to a conference. I think I told y'all that.
Yeah,
I'll be in Texas. So if I'm not able to make it, I'll catch it on Zoom.
Yeah.
But if I'm free during that time, I'll see what I'm doing in Texas during that time. But if I'm free, I will definitely chime in. But if not, just know that my love and my support is with y'all.
Okay. Well, thank you. So yeah, when you started talking about financial literacy, I was like, see, he gets it. He gets it. We on the same page here. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out to our first, not our last, but our first men's wellness branch of FreeMe Incorporated nonprofit. Like I said, we're just here to support, to love, to encourage, to show compassion for women, men, children, moms, fathers, and so on, grandparents and all. So if you want to pray out, or do you want me to pray out?
You know what? I'd like to go ahead and pray us on.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and put God in his respective place. Okay, so everyone, let's clear our hearts and let's clear our minds and let's focus on Jesus. Dear Lord, omnipotent creator, I come to you humble and I come to you grateful. I come to you humble because you are the omnipotent creator. You are the grand architect of the universe. And I know that I am but a pebble in your massive greatness. That's the humility. The grateful is you allow me to have life. The grateful is you allow me to experience what I'm experiencing. Grateful is the people that are in with us right now. Grateful is bringing Demisha into my life. Grateful is bringing her mother into my life. Grateful is bringing everyone that tuned into this Zoom today into my life. That's why I'm grateful to you. And Lord, I want to thank you for allowing us to be able to share our message today. I felt your spirit. I felt your guidance all through what we were doing. I thank you for it. And Lord, I ask that your goodness and mercy comes through everything that we are trying to do. Father, I beg you to allow us to be able to have the finances and the resources and the sponsorships and touch people's hearts, Lord, that they will donate to the cause, that they will be a part of what we're doing. Father, I understand myself because, we talked about finances. People don't want to release their money. However, when it's something that's for a good cause, Father, and it's something that's going to be a betterment for humanity, if you have it, you should put it on that. You should invest in that. You should invest in a betterment of the future. You don't know that the investment you make right now could save your life. Father, I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this amazing organization. And we ask that you continue to bless us and allow the Holy Spirit to move through everything that we are trying to do. All of this I pray and ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So yeah, go check out Mr. Lewis and all the wonderful things he's doing. Check his Instagram and all that, Facebook, everything comedy. Make sure you guys go to www.freemeincorporated.org. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. So you guys have a blessed night, and we will see you on another go around.
Catch y'all next month.
Thank you, y'all. All right, y'all. Bye.